Okay, here we go, timeline, part 3. I think the last one on YouTube that I sent would have cut you off a little bit before the end of 1921, so I'm going to try and recap on a couple of those bits. I've also moved the SS logo over to here. I thought it was a bit weird standing here with the SS logo imprinted on my face. So let's crack on and try and do a less than 15-minute video for part number 3. Not sure where you finished up with 21, so I'll give you the Ireland Islands. Make sure you know what happened in there. Who got given the islands, who accepted, proving that the League could only work when countries cooperated. I talked about the reparations payment in the last video. You might have got that or not. The first one is met. It's 50 million quid. That's the last time the Germans are going to make any reparations payments for a couple of years. And then we also talked about the Washington Naval Conference, where the Brits and the Japanese and the Americans, the US, the UK, the Japanese, put limitations on how many ships they would have, 553. It's just an inkling of the major powers moving towards the idea of a bit of disarmament, but it's not done by the League, it's not really reducing any weapons, it's just limiting further production. So a tiny step on the path to disarmament. Okay, so let's take 1922. 1922, you've got the Austrians feeling the pinch from the First World War. The Bank of Vienna collapsed. This is where the League stepped in. They arranged loans for Austria and for Hungary, actually. Austria and Hungary don't end up paying any reparations whatsoever, but the League does step in to prevent the collapse of a European economy. So you can give them a tick in that box there for successes in the 1920s. On this side, by 1922, the Nazis have increased their membership, they're growing. They're up to about 3,000 members by the end of 1922. And this fella up here, he is now the undisputed leader of the party. I'll be quite impressed if you could tell me who he replaced. Correct, it's Anton Drexler. That Hitler replaced as leader of the party. Make sure you can tell us things that we don't really fit on the timeline, his beliefs, his qualities as a leader. Qualities, beliefs, what made him successful, even though he was always turning up late, even though he only ever got a satisfactory for his history reports. What made Adolf Hitler so successful as a leader of the Nazi party? It's really in sort of as they come to power in the 1930s, but we can talk about it here. Make sure you also know about his henchmen as well, Hitler's henchmen, and you can tell us a minimum of 4 things that Goebbels did for the Nazis, and a minimum of 4 things that made Goebbels an important member for the Nazi party. Could get 4-mark question easy on those. Could even get a 6-marker on someone like Goebbels. So you've got to be able to know your stuff there. I think the last thing for 1922, in June. Oh no, a couple more actually. In June, you've got the assassination of the foreign minister, a major politician at the time. That's right, Walter Rathenau. Rathenau was assassinated basically because he was confirming that the Treaty of Versailles was in operation for the Germans and that they should cooperate with it and work with that. He's assassinated by a far right-wing group, the Organisation Consul, proving the political turmoil in Germany at the time in these crisis years for the Weimar Republic. In October, on the international relations side, which kind of links to Germany as well, the first fascist dictator of Europe took power. The world's most comedy fascist dictator, Benito Mussolini, he marched on Rome, he seized power, setting up the first fascist government in the world, and that's going to inspire Hitler a year later to try to do the same thing but be way less successful. Also in 1922, we should make sure we're aware that second reparations payment is obviously not met, and that's going to cause a bit of a kerfuffle when we get to 1923, which is known in the German topic as the year of crises. 1919 to 23 was a period of constant turmoil for the Weimar Republic. You've got separatist governments being set up everywhere. You've got political murders happening across the country. Between 1919 to 23, there were 354 political murders in Germany. We've already seen one putsch, we're going to see another one in 1923. It's bad business for them at that time and they're barely clinging on. And then you get the added punishment of pain across the middle, because you could get questions about it in both elements of the course. Got to make sure you know that in January, French and Belgian troops, I know you can tell me which part of Germany it is, you wouldn't get it confused with the Rhineland. Occupation of the Ruhr, the industrial heartland. The way I remember it is that the Rhineland is spelled Rhineland and it sounds like Rhineland, and the Ruhr spelled like that and sounds like the Ruhr. Don't get those two confused. You should know the German response to that. Make sure you understand and you are familiar with. I'll get a lighter colour than that. They follow the policy of passive resistance. Make sure you also, this might help, make sure you also understand that in that occupation, it is a violent occupation. There are 132 Germans killed in this time period by French soldiers. There are about 10,000 people kicked out of their homes, evicted from their homes. So it's not a peaceful period, it's a crisis point for the government. You will all be able to explain how the occupation of the Ruhr leads to the printing of more money and paying the workers to go on strike and existing more inflation. It's going to create the economic disaster of hyperinflation. Just make sure you can explain the causes of that. Make sure you can explain the events of hyperinflation, how it worked. Great story about the grannies with their basket that they leave by the shop window. Go and have a look in the shop window, turn around, all the money's left, basket's gone. The bartering, things like that, the consequences. Make sure you can explain from hyperinflation which groups in Germany suffer the most. If you're on fixed income, if you are someone who has lots of savings, then you lose out, particularly the middle class is losing their businesses, and the old age people on fixed pensions, things like that. That's bad news for them. The workers didn't tend to have savings, so it wasn't necessarily quite as bad for them. But it is economic turmoil in Germany, know some stats about that, and that leads on November the 8th and the 9th to a major political consequence of this. If this is the economic consequence, you've got a major political consequence. In November, when after Strassen becomes Chancellor, that happens in August, should have probably told you that. Whoops. One of the first things he does, realising that passive resistance is bankrupting the economy, is he calls off passive resistance. Starts to produce goods as well that the French can confiscate from the Ruhr. The Nazis feel that's climbing down, that's giving in, that's accepting Versailles. And so you get their attempt to seize power in the Munich Putsch. But the miserable failure of the Munich Putsch, or was it? Make sure you know what happened on November the 8th, and when Hitler actually bursts into the beer hall, what he tries to do with Gustav Kahr and the head of the Bavarian army, the very police force. And then make sure you know what happens on November the 9th, when he marches into the streets of Munich with his Nazis, about 3,000 Nazis, falls over, hurts his shoulder, runs away in a yellow car. Hitler's arrested, Ludendorff is arrested, it's all a complete shambles. However, there's going to be some longer term benefits. You can easily get a 10 marker on the Munich Putsch. You need to know why it's attempted. You need to know why it failed. And you need to be able to give a long-term evaluation of the failures / successes of that, some of which will become apparent as we go through over the course of the next couple of events. On this side of the coin, 1923, not as big a crisis in terms of international incidents, but there was one that really made the league look bad. That was August. That's when the newly installed Mussolini starts to flex his muscles. The first major failure for the League of Nations where it's faced with a major power, the Corfu incident, where Tellini and his Italian surveyors are ambushed, surveying the Greek-Albanian border. Mussolini, as you know, invades, bombards the Greek island of Corfu. There are 15 Greeks killed, including some school children, and he gets away with it. The League of Nations does nothing, it's very slow. In the end, the conference ambassadors, a new organisation that's outside the league, it steps in, gives a ruling. Not only do the Greeks have to apologise, they have to pay Mussolini compensation, 50 million lira, proving that aggression goes rewarded and proving that when challenged by big power, the League of Nations was fairly feeble. That's 1923. Let's see if we can speed it up a little bit. You guys can always pause it if you need to and rewind so you can keep up with the pace. Big year, 1923. 1924, not quite so much going on. Yes, Hitler had his trial. Gets put on a national stage, whereas the Nazis beforehand had just been a regional party in Bavaria, particularly in the city of Munich. This is going to make headlines. It's an all-ticket affair, so people are queuing up to get a ticket to get into the court case. Gives his famous speech about the goddess of history acquitting us because, even though he's accused of treason and could have been executed, he said, the people who are treasonous are the Weimar Republic, who are giving in to the French, who are giving in to Versailles, and I'm the one actually defending Germany. So he ends up looking a bit more like a serious figure. Could have gone down for a long time, could have been executed. In the end, he's only sentenced to 5 years. You should know how long he serves, only 9 months. You should remember that picture in the textbook with his own personal little ukulele player in Landsberg Castle Prison. Make sure you know that and you can give an evaluation of the benefits of the trial, even though the Nazi leadership is locked up. Also in 24, across the middle there, the arrangement of loans to the tune of 800 million marks by the American banker Charles Dawes. Do not say that the loans were to pay off the reparations. That's not true. The loans were there to stimulate the German economy, and they were very successful in doing that. And by stimulating the economy, the Germans would be able to pay back their loans. This is part of the reason why this time in Germany, you maybe take a sort of an arrow down the left-hand side of your timeline. It's going to go all the way down to 1929. 1924, you don't know where 29 will be yet. That period of time in Germany is known as the Golden Years. Sometimes called the Stresemann era. Things are looking good in Germany at the moment. Cultural advances are coming on, the government's going to get more stable as we go through that period. The crisis times are over, and the economy is getting back on its feet. In 1925, just a little sign though that there are still hints of old Germany in there, and that the democratic experiment really wasn't doomed, really wasn't going to be successful in the long run. Hindenburg was elected when Ebert died. Famous field marshal from the First World War, a representative of old Germany and old German values, and you should remember, before he takes up the post, he asks permission. Ask Kaiser's permission. This is the year that Hitler publishes Mein Kampf. Goes on to be a bestseller, spreads the Nazi message out there even further. And also, really quickly, I'll give you two other things on this side. In October, you've got the Locarno Treaty leading to the Locarno honeymoon. Period of international goodwill that was great. And you also have the Greek-Bulgarian dispute, proving that there's one rule for big powers and there's one rule for small powers in the League of Nations. That is 15 minutes.